Well, everybody, I kind of screwed up really bad today. I'm operating on something of a sleep deficit, and I showed up like 20 minutes late, which is not cool at all because I'm the opener, and the opener can't show up late, so that's a big whoopsie on my part. Strangest thing happened too is usually in the morning when I'm headed in, I kind of speed a little bit. I've got 2-lane country roads to travel for about 30 or 40 minutes, and I didn't today. Usually if I'm running late, I just maintain the speed limit and ride along, which is, I know that's kind of counterproductive. Usually people are like flying down the road when they're late, and they just drive like normal people when they're on time, and I'm kind of the opposite. And I find that to be very fortunate for me that I have developed that habit, because I came about 1 millimeter away from running into a deer this morning, and had I been speeding, that deer would have messed up my truck. I think the world works in strange ways sometimes. Oops, flashlight down, gravity. So anyway, we're hanging out right now in a 2016 Honda HRV. I think that's what this is. Oh yeah, it's an HRV, little green SUV thing. This car has 99,846 miles. They are interested in performing a 90 or 100,000 mile service on this car. I believe it's going away to college soon, and they want to make sure everything is good to go before it leaves town. So I'm going to do a full-on safety and function inspection just to make sure everything is in good working order. Okay, let's go check the back light. Applying the brakes. Okay, everybody back here is looking good. Let's see. Oh, torn wipey blades, and they're folded over. We don't want to use those. Let's see what's under here. Let's check the engine air intake filtration element. All right, that one's good. Ow. That's not good. We've been through this. Oops. I'm going to pull a spark plug for inspection. Reverse click. Not too terrible. So I don't know if you guys can see it. I hope you do. I'll zoom in a lot, but this belt has some cracks on all the ribs. It's not too severe, but it is starting to crack. Maybe if I change the lights on, that can help. I don't know. Might be as good as it gets. Either way, I'll zoom in and see if I can show these on camera. I'm also going to recommend a belt for this car. Keep in mind, I'm thinking a few years into the future. Like I said, this car is going away to college soon, and they want to get everything right and trouble-free. Little green Honda moving up. We're in the right front wheel well now, and taking a look at these brake pads, this friction material. We do not have a year to 2 years left of brakes, so this is going to be something that our customer is going to want to address. Moving around back for a friction material inspection. These look pretty good. They may want to service these as a package. The guy brought it in because he said he wanted the brakes done. Okay, let's bring it back down and get back under the hood to inspect the fluids. The front suspension and steering components look good. Same thing out back. Oh no, found a problem. There seems to be some fluid around the top of this transmission. And if we look straight down into this hole, there is a missing transmission fill plug or dipstick that is no longer present, and all this trans fluid has begun to splash around and come out of the top of that fill hole. That's going to indicate we either have a low level or possibly some dirt contamination with inside of this transmission, where I'm definitely gonna have to service that fluid. That's not cool. Let's see what the leak looks like from the bottom, going back up. Yeah, it's been leaking for a while. See how all this dirt has built up on whatever fluid is dripped out? I'm definitely going to need to do something about this. Alrighty, we got a few things that the owner of this vehicle has approved. We're not going to do any spark plugs. These may have been changed before, so these guys are going to go back. We are going to replace that belt. I am going to replace that battery, a cabin filter, and we're going to do a full brake job on this. That's going to be front and rear pads and rotors. Click. Now, we had some parts show up already, one of which is going to be this Serpentine Belt. So I think I'll pull this guy out of here first. I want to show you guys the cracks that I saw in it. Forgive the lack of a good view. This engine mount's in the way, and I'm not going to remove that just to get a good line of sight on everything. But I'll show you when I pull it out. Try to sneak this out. I might have to finish it off from the bottom, but I think I can get it out through here. Come on out there. Yeah, there's a lot of twists and turns in this. It's not complying with my will. A little bit more. Here we go. She's coming out. Yeah, you see here, if we fold it backwards, all the cracks that have shown up in the belt. That will steadily deteriorate. It's due to a hardening of the rubber over time. And as this hardens, it's more likely to slip, and then you get noises. And if left unchecked for too long, these types of cracks will make their way into the structure of the belt and compromise its integrity, which leads to belt breakages. Usually you'll have other symptoms before they want to break, but when something has lost its integrity, it could actually go at any time. And we'll hold up a new one for comparison. So I've made peace with the fact and come to terms that I can't get this installed just from the top, so I've already gone down below and taken the liberty of removing the splash shield that covers up the front of the engine on the bottom side through the wheel well. Now that I've fed that belt down there, let's go in and begin to set it up and get it on its pulleys and everything. I always start with the crankshaft pulley first. Come here, you. There we go. And we'll wrap it around here and get it on the AC compressor next. That goes back up. They're always super tough at first because they have the all the bends and folds kinked into them from when they were in storage. And you've got to kind of have to work your way past that until you get everything set up. All right, let's go back up top and find another pulley. You know, I think it goes without saying, but when it comes to the relationship between the belt and the pulleys, of course the smooth side will always run on a smooth side of the pulley, and the ribbed side will always run on a ribbed pulley. Let's move you guys over here so you can see what I'm doing. So I've got the belt coming past that stud on the tensioner, and I'm going to slip it over what I believe is a water pump pulley. That's that smooth one right down below. Now it started to move. I'm going to have to reach down one more time and align everything back up. Looks good so far-ish. and I'll reach in, pull this over the alternator. I always save the easiest pulley for last because that's the one that I can reach in with the other hand and manipulate. Okay, I reached down one more time. Everything's pretty well aligned. So I got my finger on the belt again, and I'm just kind of pulling everything tight, getting it ready to slip over the last pulley, which I believe is just an idler on the back side of the engine. The term idler refers to a pulley that doesn't have anything mounted to it. Okay, this thing is mostly all set up. I just need to take the tensioner loose a little bit and then slip the last bit of belt over that idler all the way out back, which is down there. I don't think you guys can see it from here. I can barely see it. Yeah, this is pretty tough right here. I don't have much space to play with. Okay, I need to switch arms. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna take this off of the alternator, get the belt onto the idler, and then try to do it that way. Gravity. I think all magnets are broken. Either that or these cars are made with diluted steel. See, yep, as I'm pushing down the tensioner, I'm slipping this belt over the alternator. Okay, I think I got it. Now what I'm going to do is just take a look down at each one of the pulleys and make sure the ribs are not off. Because if they're not centered on the pulley, when you start the engine, the extra force from one of the edge ribs on one of the pulleys will actually cut the belt in half. It'll stretch it and break it. It won't happen instantly. This looks pretty good. Let's go down, let's go back down below and check it out. Yep, everybody's connected. They are aligned properly. This belt job is complete. Okay, so we've all seen plenty of brake jobs around here, so I'm just gonna kind of paraphrase through this one. This is what's next on the parts that showed up. They're just kind of trickling in. There we go. And because the parts are trickling in, I'm just gonna work on this car as parts show up. Doo-doo-doo. Now, I've been told I'm an excellent salesperson and I'm excellent at marketing, and so I try to double dip whenever I can and kill two birds with one stone. That being said, every time I do a brake job video, everybody likes to comment and or email me and ask me about this caliper depressing tool. This thing is absolutely fantastic, and I use it on every single brake job to depress that caliper. It's safer for the piston than using channel locks or even like C-clamps. C-clamps do work, but I don't have big C-clamps here, so I just use this thing. All that being said, here comes the shameless sales plug. I will leave an Amazon link for a similar tool in the description down below. This one is made by Blue Point. Well, it's rebranded by Blue Point, but they're made somewhere else, and then Snap-on/Blue Point rebrands them. So it's not actually a Snap-on tool, even though it came from the Snap-on truck. And that will conclude my shameless sales pitch of the day. Before I take this caliper bracket off, I want to get these slide pins out so I can clean and lubricate them. Yeah, that old grease is a little worn. So I'll dab on some nice shiny new purple grease. Last time I used this purple grease on a brake job, several folks chimed in and said that it deteriorates the rubber on the boots, and I was reading the label. I don't see anything that indicates that it does deteriorate the rubber. I've never heard of that before, but it specifically says this is brake parts lubricant, and it is ceramic, so I don't believe it would break down any rubber. I've never seen it happen, and I've been using this particular lubricant for many moons. If anybody knows any more information about that, please feel free to let us know down in comment land. So if this is a faulty product or should not be used for what I'm using it for, I may consider changing my ways. Yeah, we're down to maybe 2 or 3 millimeters on that pad thickness. I'm also going to be redoing the rears on this Honda, but they weren't necessary, but like I said, the owner wanted to make sure this thing was in good shape before it goes off to college. Sometimes I suppose peace of mind is worth much more than money, and I've got 2 daughters and a son myself. They are not of driving age yet, except for little Power Wheels Jeeps, but I would do the same thing if I was shipping my kid away. Nice. This hub surface is very clean. This is good. Yep, no buildup at all. So I've got one of the new rotors here. These things usually come with a very thin layer of oil or grease on them. That's to prevent rusting while they are in storage, and that should be cleaned off before the brakes are put into service. The reason being is if that oil is left on there, it will embed itself into the pad surface and compromise the integrity of the brake pads themselves, which would be bad. It's a lever operated screwdriver. There we go. Now, after unboxing the new pads, I want to compare the new ones to the old ones to make sure they're the same size. But I also want to make sure that the wear indicator tab is in the correct position. For example, if I were to install this pad on this particular wheel, the wear indicator pad would be in the wrong position. So this is going to be my inboard pad for this side. The outboard pads do not have a wear indicator, so it doesn't matter which way or what position those end up going in. Since that rotor is bolted in with its little set screw, I'll go ahead and get this bracket back on. Couple ducks here. And now that that is stable and secure, we can change out these shims right here. It's easier to do these while the bracket is bolted on. That way it's secure and stable and doesn't move around. And one more quick spray to clean any dirt out that might be on the seating surface for these shims. And this is the part where the comments blow up. A lot of folks will put lube right here underneath of these shims or on top of them shims. I do not. And I don't do that for a couple reasons. Reason number one, the OEMs do not install lubricant from the factory. And reason number two is if there's lube in there or grease, as the brake pads wear, the brake dust that forms from that wear can coagulate or build up, so to speak, on that grease and actually find its way in between the shim and the bracket, causing a binding condition of the pads. I have in fact seen that down here in Florida from excessive grease being put on surfaces where it wasn't originally intended to be. Now that's just me. I'm not saying that anybody who does that a different way is right or wrong. There's probably 100 different ways to do a particular job, and that's just the way that I do them. I have found that method successful and have not seen problems arise out of it. Now granted, if I was up in the Great White North, I may reconsider that tactic, but down here we don't have the heavy corrosion problems that you northern guys run into, so I don't find that that's necessary. Click. Click. Okay, this side is done. I'm gonna move over to the driver's front. I'm not gonna do that one in real time. We're gonna speed up into super warp speed, light speed, fast motion. That will save us video time, and that will also avoid any unnecessary and monotonous footage. Okay, let's swing over to the other side and start that warp speed brake job. Okay, so while you guys weren't looking, and since it was rather uneventful, I went ahead and pulled the drain plug in the transmission pan, and it drained out about 4 quarts of fluid. And we found ourselves a suitable cap to plug that hole with. I've already refilled it, and while this battery's out, I'm gonna get the new one installed. So I'm kind of jumping around a little bit with regards to how much detail I'm going into regarding the service on this vehicle. I know I usually show like all the steps, but I don't want to make a you know, 3 or 4 hour video of doing regular easy services. I can't find the hole. Where is it? Is that it? Maybe that's it, farther down. Do I have this the right way? Nope, probably not. Let's try again. Ah, there we go, now I got it. And this one goes in there, maybe. This battery's slightly taller than the other one, I think. There. So, again, forgive me if I skipped over something or cut something out that you may have wanted to see. If I did, I apologize, and I won't do that again. I'm just kidding, I probably will. But like I said, I'm just trying to make some decent headway and keep this video less than 4 or 5 hours long. And what's a battery job without a terminal scrubbing? This is so commonly overlooked. And we've been through this before a few times on this channel. Okay, you guys don't have much of a view on this one. I'm cleaning that one out too. There's quite a bit of dirt and whatnot build up on this terminal, so I'm just gonna employ some brake clean to clean it off. Make it nice and shiny. While that dries, I'll go ahead and tighten this one down. I'm not going to put the other one on just yet because brake clean is actually somewhat flammable, and I don't want to create an arc and then light the battery and car on fire, because that would be bad. Click. And a dab of anti-corrosion oil-based corrosive preventative spray. Uh-oh. Come here. Why? Because I had it upside down, that's why. One more. Click. A little bit more paint. There we go. All right. We had some more parts trickle in. I have a cabin air filtration element. I'll go ahead and get that installed right now. Most of these cabin filters, they have a airflow direction, and airflow is always going to go down. Airflow can't really go up because if the filter were to catch any contaminants in the air, when the airflow stops, the contaminants will fall back out of the filter and into the ductwork. So airflow regarding your HVAC system always flows from the top down through the filter. Fun fact. Get rid of that. All right, guys. Well, all that's really left on this is some wiper blades and an oil change, and these rear brakes right here. I'm not going to film the replacement of the rear brakes. That would already extend the length of this video past something that would be entertainment, and it would, I fear, become monotonous and boring. That being said, before I go, I'd like to thank all of you guys for watching this video. Since you watched this all the way to the end, I'm going to assume that you enjoyed this video. And if you did enjoy this video, the only thing I would ask of you is for you to reach down and tap that thumbs up button. That button is what lets me and YouTube know that I'm doing a good job. And if YouTube thinks that I'm doing a good job, it's far more likely to recommend my content to other potential viewers. And that's good for me, and it's especially good for them. If you didn't enjoy this video, or feel I did something incorrect or wrong in this video, please feel free to test your theories in the comment section down below. Also, before I let you guys go, I have to remind myself to not forget to remind you guys to not forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later.